So I'll just share my story about what happened to my life before I started the program and what is happening after I cleared the program. Just a bit of information about me. I'm 34 years old. As Stanley has said, I work for an international organization, which is in 47 countries in Africa, and I manage currently 11 countries. Okay, I'm just saying these things to impress you so that you listen to me. You have to pay attention. Anyway, and I'm engaged to a lovely lady. Let me get this out of the way. Maybe she just waves her hand. I'm getting married by the grace of God in May this year. I am born again. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I'm filled by the Holy Spirit and I love God. I'm not those, crazy born again guys who are too spiritual. Me, I can crack jokes and laugh, and also I can have fun. Huh? Sawa. Okay, so I love today's topic, getting out of the comfort zone. My story is very simple. I grew up in a society where the issue of money and sex were classified together. They used to be taboo. So you never used to talk about money. When you talk about money, you're told, hiyo ni kazi ya Wakikuyu. By the way, we are going to be real today, sawa? So you'll be told, mambo ya pesa ni ya Wakikuyu. So I grew up with that mentality of, my people are not people of money. Us guys are guys of just, we are there, maybe being watches or something. But so I grew up with that mentality, and I remember the first time I was on my own when I went to high school, and my mom gave me 100 bob. That was a lot of money. I felt like I was a millionaire. Within 3 days, I was broke in Form 1. I went through the whole high school with a lot of, struggling about money, not knowing how to manage money. And I can't blame them because they didn't know better, because they never, you can only tell someone what you already know. If you don't know anything, you'll tell them what you don't know. So you'll be pumping to them a lot of ignorance. So I joined, after I went through high school, I went through university. I studied in India. I did my undergraduate there. I came back in 2006. Then in 2009, I did my master's in communication from Daystar University. Now, it gets interesting because when I came back from India, I started working in an NGO. And progressively, my salary started growing. And I started earning very good money, by the way. But now the problem was, I carried the ignorance and lack of knowledge and information about money when I started working. So whenever I got my salary, I used to work very hard to finish it. Because I was never used to having money. Those two guys, like some of you I know right now, it's January, it's mid-January, we are very humbled. But, those two guys who are very humbled right now, this is the time back you know your watch's name. Habari ya boss, umeshinda salama. When you have money end of the month, no one can touch you. You're the loudest guy in the pub. So I used to be like that. So I was in that life. Oh, there are guys up here. Habari zenyu? Oh, okay, nice. So I started working, and can you imagine being paid 200K every month, but the first week of the month you're broke? By mid of the month, you're borrowing money to just get through the month. So that was my life from, I started working in 2006 up to 2013 when I heard about the Centonomy class. And it was by chance. I was driving to work, and then I'm listening to Capital FM, and I hear Washeke talking. And there's just one thing she said that I almost applied brakes on the road. She said, can you imagine if you go to work this morning, and you arrive at work, and you find a letter on your desk, and you're being told, those two letters, somehow employers are very cheeky. They'll start and praising you. They'll tell you the way you are a very hardworking employee. And then that last paragraph, they say, however, we regret to inform you. So that really caught my attention when she said that. And that was also the first time I was hearing about Centonomy. So when I arrived in the office, the first thing I went online. And then I Googled Centonomy, I got their phone number, and I called them immediately, even before I checked my emails and started working. I talked to one of the ladies, and the following week I was actually in class. Started the class. That was the first time in my life, having worked for 7 years, that someone was telling me about money. You know, things to do with saving, personal financial management, wealth creation. You know, somehow, we always think we know it. You know, Kenyans we use the word kimbelembele. We are kimbelembele. We think we know everything. So when you have your money, you know, it's your salary. You know everything, you know how to manage it. But then it's very important to sit down and be taught about these things, especially with people who have already gone through this. And some of the struggles we have, and that's how the point of being in a comfort zone. You know, you think you're fine. You have that job. You know, end of the month, you know, you have your salo. You're good. You know, you live in a one-bedroom house, you think you've figured. Maybe you've hustled kidogo, you've gotten a kaka. So you look around, you're, me, I'm fine. You know, you're good. You're the guys who make noise in tower every Friday in pubs. You know, but life has very interesting way of how to snap us back to reality. And one of the things I want to tell you is, don't wait for a tragedy to happen in your life for you to make a decision of how you need to manage your finances. There is a story which we were told in class. I don't know if you guys have ever realized. I come from Kitale, so I travel a lot when I go to the farm. And mostly every Wednesday and Friday, you will see a bus. There's a body inside. Up there are mattresses and stuff. So the mzee has kufad, so everyone has to go back to shags. So you've seen these things. As in when someone dies, life stops. The kids are chucked from the schools in Nairobi, they're taken back to shags. You don't want that to happen to you. So I came to Centonomy, I was taught about the cause. And for me, I'm usually a very proactive guy, so I like being very practical. So I'll sit in class, and then they were taking us through the courses. One of the things that I picked up very immediately was something called, you have non-financial assets. So that was something. You know, non-financial assets, are not financial. Anyway, non-financial assets are like your gifts, your talents, you know, something you can actually use to make money. And I'm a very good writer. I write a lot. I'll talk briefly later on, maybe before I finish, about the books I do and some of the writing works I do. So the first thing I did was, I'm like, see, I can also do consultancy. I can write. I'm very good in communication. And then by virtue of me being in the NGO world, I know a lot of people in terms of networks, you know, big bosses in NGOs and all that. So we were taught, see, the classes are usually in the evening. So the following day in the morning, ile kujaribu too. So I called one of my former boss. So like, how are you? How are you fine? Nini. I scheduled a meeting. I went to his office. The first thing he told me, come on, unatafuta kazi, we don't have a job. I'm like, I'm not looking to be employed. I was just worried, do you have any work? Because I know you do a lot of, you know, communication consultancy. Long story short, we signed the contract. Within 2 days, I was being paid 24K a day for 30 days. So one of the biggest things that happened to me and will happen to you if you join this program is your mindset. You start looking at things, and if you want to change someone, change their mindset. Don't change your leaders, change your mindset. Then you'll change who you'll vote for. You know, you start transforming your mindset. And that started giving me, and as we were going through the course, I started learning, wow, I'm sitting on a gold mine. And then it also happened, I come from Kitale, we have a very big farm. I grew up on the farm actually, and I do a lot of farming. So I started thinking of how do I utilize this farm to bring me more money, you know. And then long story short, I started doing horticulture. I'm still doing a bit of horticulture, although there's a bit of challenges here and there when it comes to supervision and management of the farm because I'm in Nairobi and all that. But it kind of really opened my eyes on what I can achieve and what I can do. I want to give you a definition of wealth. What is wealth? Anyone? Quick. Hiya. What is wealth? Hiya. You got a free course. Tell us. Okay, he's defined it as tangible assets. I'll give you a very basic definition of wealth. Wealth is an abundance of resources. Abundance of resources. What are resources? We've already just talked about non-financial resources. So most of us walk around thinking we are very poor. But God has blessed us with a lot of gifts, with a lot of talents, with a lot of, even network is a gift, is a resource. Sorry. Just knowing someone who knows someone who knows someone, it's a resource. The other resource you have are opportunities. One thing I love about Africa is we have a lot of problems. So we have a lot of opportunities. In fact, one of my other points I wanted to say is, from today, what I also learned from Centonomy is, don't go out there looking for money. Please, don't. Look for problems. Look for problems, solve the problem. Then money will look for you. I'll give you an example. A guy who started McDonald's or Kenchick. What were they trying to solve? They were solving the urgency of people wanting food. You don't want to go to a restaurant and order and wait for 4 hours for them to make for you kuku. You want that kukupono, which is just, it's already rolling. Within 2 seconds, you have your food. They were solving a problem. It's now one of the biggest chains in the world. Sindio? Just look around your community. What problems do you have? And there are many stories in Centonomy you'll hear of guys who are uzaring mandazis and then now they're owning chains of restaurants in Nairobi. So look for problems. Solve the problem, money will look for you. Now, we've defined what wealth is. It's the abundance of resources. Poverty, on the other side, is it's a lack of means. I'm just going fast because of my time. Lack of means of providing material needs or comfort. So it's lack. The bigger word here I want you guys to take is means. It's a lack of means. So the question is, how many of us have means or we lack means? We have means. Sindio? You have common sense, you have opportunities, you have talents, you have gifts. And it's up to you now to use that and to get out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone is very interesting. Because imagine my 7 years when I started working before I joined Centonomy, was I had this nice salary, I had a lot of friends. By the way, it's so amazing in Nairobi. If you don't know what to do with your money, you have so many friends. A lot of friends. So I used to have a lot of friends. Right now, probably on a Saturday, I will be nursing the hangover of Friday. And then we're already plotting about the after. What we'll do in the after. And then, can you imagine, expenses were only rent. And then maybe like a 5K once here, you send to Shags to Mother just to keep her quiet, I used to, for almost 5 years, like even owning a sofa set, a fridge, they were never priorities to me. I used to be known in all the pubs in this town. There are 2 pubs along Kimathi Street. Nowadays, they have changed ownership and all that. But I used to know the owner. What as you knowing the manager and the bouncer? Me now, I used to know the owner. And then I used to have a book. So when I come with my entourage of friends. So we'll drink, and then the book will come, I sign, and I bounce. And the 2 chicks are so impressed. Wow. Right now, you are feeling like the boss. You are fake at the end, you are there. And then, of course, now you walk kidogo with a swag, And then, I never used to have a car. So I used to do a lot of car hire. Then every week, I used to have a different car. Every week. And I used to put a lot of pressure to the person who used to give me cars to have the latest number plate. If she doesn't have, she has to look around town. Comfort zone. I had the money, I was fine. I was not even thinking about tomorrow's jet is just heavy. Meanwhile, by there, some of my friends were owning houses and buying houses and doing stuff. Me nafikiria nimefika. Me, I'm there, So the comfort zone I was in for 5 clean years. 5. I remember my boss then started convincing me, you need to start saving in a sacco, nini. They convinced me. So I reluctantly, they used to cut out 1K from my salary. And then, after like 4 months, I'm giving Sacco a lot of money. I went to the accountant. So I was negotiating They lower it down to 5 reds. She refused. She said, Afana Douglas, no, now this is too much. Imagine. And I know I speak on behalf of most of you. Sindio? For chicks, maybe your money just goes for your hair and your tissues and your nice phone. Then another point. Unajua nikiongea na rusha ma point, Sindio? So you're getting it. See, I'm putting 2 points there. Osheke, I'm doing well so far. Okay. So one of the things Centonomy will also help you is to differentiate between the nice to have and the must have. This is where we make a lot of mistake. It's nice to have this marrying, but is it a must? I remember the class I was going in. I think the third or fourth week, one of the ladies went and cut DSTV for her family. She was like, 7K, apana, you 7K for education fund. So is it good? It's good to have, but is it a must? So I learned about 3 things when it comes to possession and the haves. The first one is the must have. So Centonomy will really help you. And what I love about Centonomy, it's very practical. It's not there you just go and you're given theories, and then you go home. It's practical. You go through the program in a very practical way. So one of the things I learned was you need to know and have a list of have. The must have basically is now your nguos, your rent, everything and all that, your transport. And then there is the variables. The variables is, it's good to have, but you can still live without that. Something like, whether you buy a weave of 10K or you just do matutas for like 0. You get it? So you have the variables. And then there is the nice to have, but you don't really to have. It's not like the must-haves. These are like now the DSTVs, the phone of the iPhone of G70K, You get it? You buy a car, then you go and park in Eastlands outside a rented house. Stuff like that. They are not really, so you'll differentiate between, and that's what I started doing. Before I buy something, I have to, of course, once in a while, we're humans, you'll maybe make an impulsive buying and all that. But they'll always that shake a voice behind your head. She likes calling them flosets. Flosets versus assets. So most of us are trapped in that image trap. Most of the guys in Nairobi are living lives for others, showing off. So you struggle to buy a kaka so that your friends will see you with it. And then right now, we were driving yesterday from the gym, and Gong Road was like bila jam. And I was so happy. I was like, Akisi, January 15th should be every day. Because guys are broke, they have parked their cars at home. It's so funny. Okay, my other point somewhere. One of the other things was about budgeting. Now, I love that my definition, this is mine, my definition of budget. Budget is basically telling your money where to go instead of you wondering where it went. Stanley, that's good. Yeah. Budgeting is telling your money where to go instead of you wondering, na hiyo pesa ilienda. Unajua nilikuwa na 1K jana, hata sijui ilienda wapi. Sidio? So you like nilibai, alafu hiyo nyingine hata sijui ilienda wapi. You're honestly wondering where your money went. One of the other things I learned was wealth is never created in disorder. That's why you need to have a plan. You need to have a spending plan. You need to have a budget. You will never create wealth in disorder. And I love when I go back, I like referring a lot to God. I like going back to Genesis when God was creating the world. He was very methodic. That one. See, I told you guys I grew up on the farm, but so God was very orderly. So on the first day, he created the earth, and then he created the sky, and then he created what? The following day, he created this. The third day, he didn't create everything on the same day. He didn't create man before he created the world. Sindio, we can learn a few lessons from there. You start planning things. You don't just shoot here. Don't be those 2 guys, by the way, you want to get married, 3 months, then you start harassing your friends. Forming committees and CG for you and your bill money. You have to have a plan. I'm getting married next year, next month. This is what I need to have. Let not your life be all about emergency. Right now, people are running around looking for fee. In December, you're huko turning down for what in Costo? You know. Right now, you're harassing people. You know. It's like a lady who is pregnant for 9 months and then unataka pesa ya maternity. For going to OC, you start harassing people when your water breaks. Hey, unajua sina pesa. You've been pregnant for like 9 months. Sawa. So have order. Centonomy will help you. You have order. The beauty about money, this is a secret I'm telling you. When you put your money into order, your life, other parts of it also get into order. Your relationship gets into order with your chick or your guy or your husband or wife. By then you fix all your problems. Okay, most of your problems. If most of you guys are stressed, umekosana na demu wako Charlie because of money. Okay, it may not be about money. Okay, he came late. Okay, he was drunk, but you're stressed because of money. He's sort of is drunk, you know. So it kind of piles up. So you fix your money, you fix a lot of things in your life. The other thing is, one of my last points is invest in knowledge. Invest in knowledge. Knowledge is what will help you stay grounded and be rooted in your life, in your career, in your professional life, in your businesses. Seek knowledge. This program really gives you a lot of knowledge. It exposes your thinking. Don't walk around ignorant. A lot of guys are very ignorant. Kenyans. Quail eggs. Unasikia there are quail eggs and everyone goes take loans to buy quails. You've not researched, you've not done things. Unasikia bypass inapita sijui where everyone goes to buy land there. Sindio? How many went and bought land in Kansas City? I know someone who took a loan and bought 15 acres in Kansas City. You know, have knowledge first before you rush. You know, a lot of us rushed for Safaricom offers, the IPO. And then we were expecting to be millionaires after 1 month. And then it happened, the shares started going down. You're like, wow, what's happening? Hey, Uhuru, Raila, oh, this government, ooh. We start blaming other people. But we don't have knowledge. And that's why even God says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. This program will give you knowledge about your money. How to manage your money, how to create wealth. Sawa sawa. Okay. The other thing is, you can have fun for cheap. I never used to know that. Like you can actually have fun today, even for zero. Just go to Uchumi, buy ile jua ya kuincha, ile 95 bob, go to your digs with your buddies with the movie. Or borrow movies from each other. Go and watch movie, piga storo. See, exactly that's what you do in the pub. Sindio, what do you do in the pub? You go there to dig for gold. So you just go to piga a story and you're spending money. So, my idea was, if I have to have fun, I have to be in a pub, in those two noisy places, nini. But you can have fun for cheap. Hello? You can actually, reach a place where I have to go on holiday outside the country once a year. And I want to make it thrice a year. You know, something like that. You know, go on holiday. Not December, everyone goes to Costa. When you don't know the other countries outside Kenya. And then, funny enough, the money you spend in Costa for 1 week, you can actually go to Mauritius. Vizuri, and you come back. Okay. Guys are looking at me like, na wichalia naongeaje. Okay, the last point is, this is my favorite topic was time value for money. And one thing I learned about, and I started studying a lot about time is your most valuable resource. If you want to look at successful people, wealthy people, look at how they manage their time. And the funny thing about life, all of us, whether you're poor or rich, we all have 24 hours in a day. Everyone. But how you use your time will matter or will determine how your tomorrow will be. So that was so crucial to me. You need to know what you're going to do after today. You need to know what you're doing on Monday, on Sunday, next week, next month. You need to have a plan with your life. And Centonomy really helps you when it comes to, especially to financial planning. You know, don't be those two guys you're called, unafanya nini? Niko tu home, unataka twende wapi? Sema nataka twende tuone sijui jema huko. Nakaa mnipatie 10 minutes. Nachukua nduthi, unaruka ndalia. Shoot. You know, you always have time. And that's why you see two guys who go outside Kenya cinema. You stand there for 3 hours waiting for someone. Uko happy? You're just on Facebook waiting for them. What are you doing there for 3 hours? Do you know people are making money? And you are there. And you're praying to God, and God is looking at you and wondering. I used to tell, I will talk briefly about my mentorship program. I tell students in the class is that some of us, our prayers are so irrelevant. When we pray, God hears some noise, then he's like, hey, Gabriel, angel, hiyo kelele inatokea wapi? So, inatokea huko kwa Jemo. Oh, ni ule chaliwa Doni. Zima hiyo kitu. God is looking at you. He's given you non-financial assets. He's given you opportunities. He's even gone ahead. He's put you in Africa, in Kenya, where there are so many problems. He wants you to excel. And you're just sitting there praying. What are you praying? What akusumbua Mungu? Are you getting it? Hello? Yeah, so know how to manage your time. When you spend the whole weekend in the house watching series, Scandals, imefika season 1? Ama you guys are like, that one is all you guys. Have you watched Empire? Like there are guys who know they know the series even before they are shot. Kuna series inakuja next year. Inakam tarehe 16 when I release 3 p.m. US time. And then you spend the whole weekend watching movies. And then on Sunday you go to church to disturb God. Oh, Father. Are you looking at these things? These are realities of life. So how valuable is our time? Me, I don't wait for people. Even my fiancé knows. I can't wait for her for more than 15 minutes. My time is so valuable. I have things to do. I'm not here forever on earth. I have a very short time. I don't want to waste my time. And once you put these things into perspective, it really changes your life. Sawa. Sasa, the program. So I got the consultancy. It's been coming. So I'll get to jobs. I will be hustling here and there. I will be reaching out to my, the non-financial resources. Last week I negotiated a contract. Next week I'm signing a contract. I'll be paid 15K every day. Tell you for how long. Secret yangu. So, besides my normal job, my 8 to 5 job, I also have income coming in from other areas. I write books. I have written 2 novels. The first one is called Far From Home, Confessions of a Foreign Student. And then the second one is called The Devil's Favorite Demons. The third one I'm working on is called The Making of a Man. It's kind of personal to me because we don't have really men in Kenya. Okay, in the world. And then the 4th novel, and that's why my time is very precious. I'm working on the 4th novel. It's called The Prostitutes of God. This is for Christians. So I have time, I research a lot, I do a lot of things. Then besides that, I started a mentorship program last year. It's called the Living Effectively Mentorship Program. These are some of the things that opened my mind after going through the Centonomy class. Like you can actually do a lot. You can utilize you can really dig into you and really maximize your potential. I ran a mentorship program. It's called Living Effectively Mentorship Program. I have a few brochures outside. So for those who are lucky, they can rush after the class, the session, and then they go and pick. It's an 8-week course. It touches holistically about the lives of a human being. Some of the modules we talk about is spiritual development, how to discover your purpose on earth. The other one is personal development, professional development. We also talk about financial development. We talk about physical development, leadership, and networking. So those are some of the things I'm doing. Next weekend on Saturday, I will be starting my 3rd batch of the program. So far, we have mentored over 500 students or participants. Yeah, they have gone through the program. And I'm not really interested in making money from the program. It's just my passion to give back to the society. Basically, some of the things I'm talking about relating to finance and also relationship and all aspects of life is what we go through the program. Because also, other than just coming to this kind of goal, and I love Washeke has this perspective in her program about mentoring. We don't have a lot of mentors in Kenya. And some of the mistakes we do, we could have avoided doing them if only we had someone to mentor us and guide us. We don't want to be those two guys over ati biashara ni ya Wakikuyu. And then they are doing well. You know, it's so funny, like in my village, there's this guy who came, he used to be a worker in one of the farms. Right now, the guy bought the farm he used to hire. The guy owns almost 100 acres. Alafu, unajua my people, what they say? Kikuyu, they're very hardworking. And you are there, you're poor. So, change your perspective, change your mind, and your life will change. This is a very, very good program. I'll encourage everyone, if you are here and you've not signed up, please don't look at the money, you're like, si wanataka tu do. Ati, ngapi, how much? Ati 30 what? Acha ikae. And then you go and, within 1 month, you've actually blown that money in a pub. Ama if you're dating those two crazy chicks, wale wa kutoanishanga wase, aki baby nimeibiwa handbag, you know, those two things. So, sign up for the program and your life will never be the same again. Thank you very much for giving me time to talk to you and for listening to me.